Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen recording. It's 4:10 p.m. that is Central Time. Today is July 1st. Well, I thought I'd kick off today and look at MicroStrategy because it is down in a fairly dynamic manner and failing to hold the move above $400. That's a significant reaction to the decline in Bitcoin. But I think the primary reason why Bitcoin prices were down today over $1,000 was simply because the US economy is still looking pretty healthy. And that put some upward pressure on the 2-year yield. It was up 5 basis points. The 10-year was pretty much unchanged. But we had job openings that were better than expected, quit levels that were lower than expected, higher than expected, which is also positive for the economy, and then continuing claims that were not quite as bad as expected either. So, three different sets of figures on the employment market that are pointing towards a violent environment, and would suggest the Federal Reserve is not going to be under as much pressure to cut interest rates. That is on top of the fact that you had Jerome Powell coming out today and saying, well, that if there hadn't been tariffs, they probably would have cut rates more, but that they do anticipate that inflationary impacts from tariffs will start to show up in some of the statistics over the course of the next quarter. But that they're going from meeting to meeting because they're just taking events as they occur. And I think that's pretty much what the rest of the market is doing as well. And when we think about what was happening in the stock market today, well, the Dow Jones was up 400 points, the Nasdaq was down about 200 points. And that divergence was pretty much because the pharmaceutical sector was in positive territory today on the back of positive trial results from several different companies. That is despite the fact that it's been under a cloud to a greater or lesser extent because of the threat that vaccine producers might have their legal protections stripped away, that pharmaceutical prices will have to be the same in the USA as they are for the rest of the world, which is obviously going to be a margin challenge for several of these companies. And then, of course, there's the broad question around regulation of the sector. So that's obviously been one of the weights on the pharmaceutical sector over the last 6 months, or I guess really since the Trump administration took power. And then some good news today was allowed some oversold conditions to be unwound.